from then on till I was 13, I left to come to the high school. And I left at 15, went back to Stroma then. And the following year, got an apprenticeship in work as a joiner.
So when you were 5 in Stroma, the war that would be 1941. That's before when you started the school.
Yeah, I remember starting the school and you each had your little box with a gas mask and taught how to use it. And you went everywhere with gas mask. Imminent attack at any time we were drummed into us.
Oh yes.
And every plane that flew over, we suspiciously looked at it, and at times when it was flying sort of low, we'd help to dive for a ditch or behind it.
I see.
In case we got shot at, but
yes,
it didn't happen. But it was scary when a plane came over, you know. It probably most of, well, 90%, 99% they were own planes, but odd occasion there would be a German, a Fokker, a spy plane would fly over it at first. But yeah, it was interesting, I suppose, in a way for us at the age it was. But it's a night time when Scapa Flow got attacked every, I don't know how many times, but I can mind that vividly.
Yes.
It'd be dark and the sky would be lit up with searchlights, probing, and planes flying in and out the searchlight glare, and then if firing would start up from Scapa Flow guns, and there's bursts of smoke all over the sky.
Yes.
And we had, then I lived in my granny's, and we all crowded in between the butt and the bend in the passageway when this happened.
All right.
Because there was shrapnel and stuff would fall.
Yes.
And although it never struck our house, there was some houses that were struck.
Yes.
And the odd time there would be a shell that wouldn't explode and it would land on the island. I remember that quite vividly.
Yes.
Also, the mines that used to come ashore.
Oh yes.
Stray mines. And before the Coast Guards would get us all from one side of the island over the other as if it was going to blow half the island apart. But seldom we ever seen more than a smoke rising when they exploded and disposal people came over and exploded it. They usually lapsed about a day or two before they go over. During that time the Coast Guards would be warding everybody away. Home Guard it was, warding everybody from that area. But remember that on a few occasions.
Yes.
We seldom walked around the shore because it was warned there's so much mines and flotsam that was dangerous for us and could be booby trapped, and all this was all drummed into us.
Yes.
And the bodies that came ashore at times.
Oh yes.
Granny always would walk around the shoreways, but not during the war because we were frightened we'd find some bodies and later on it wouldn't be very pleasant for us.
And did you ever find anything like that?
No, I never actually found anything that was dangerous. Looking over the Scapa, you saw them big barrage balloons that they strung up from each vessel and all around to stop dive bombing. And one of them broke free one time and ended up with a cable wrapped around our drying poles.
Really?
Inside my granny's house, and this huge silver spaceship floating down on top of his. We were led to believe that there were explosives tied to the tail of it, you know, so I was keeping well back. But it was half deflated when it lay on the ground with a cable trapped. So it goes, the Home Guard lad that was head of it, Bremder was his name. He came down and we noticed there's no any danger with it, so we ended up that we cut it up and covered hay screws with it and tatty mounds, and my granny made suits out of it.
Oh yes, what sort
Jackets.
What sort of fabric
Jackets,
was it?
trousers. It was a fine cloth, like, but impregnated with a sort of plastic,
Oh yes.
airtight
Uh-huh.
material,
Yes.
watertight as well.
Uh-huh.
And we had snow boots made from it, and trousers, and
Oh
all sorts of things. It was quite a flexible material.
yes. Yeah.
That was one exciting time for us.
Yes. Yeah.
And
When I'm thinking about the air raids on Scapa Flow, would they be particularly noisy events? Was there a lot of noise associated?
from a distance, you couldn't hear a lot more than a drone and the guns banging off.
Uh-huh.
See the flashes from Scapa
The
Flow
tracer bullets.
and
you
the
see.
tracers. You'd see all that quite clearly. When we were allowed to have a look around the corner, as it was,
Uh-huh.
it didn't actually stand out when this was going on. Sort of head away.
Yes.
All the windows my father had, when he came home on leave, he made boards for all the windows that we put up against for keeping the lamp light from, it was a closed down time for all lights.
Of course. And am I right in thinking that the lighthouses were switched off at that time?
I don't know for that. I believe that they were closed away at a very small light for one segment of the circle,
All right.
except
Cut.
for one circle.
Cut.
Take 2.
Right, Jim, I was asking you about the air raids now. Were they very noisy affairs when you were...
Well, you definitely could hear the shells exploding, or they're shooting at the planes, and tracers, and particularly in a clear night, you could see and hear quite a bit. But we were never allowed to stand out in the open when this was going on. Like I say, we were usually hiding in between the two rooms in the passageway.
Yes.
Waiting. It didn't last for a long time, as you can imagine. It was a raid.
Yes.
Probably at the most lasted an hour,
Uh-huh.
comings and goings.
Yeah.
And prior to that, you'd get the planes from Wick, then the fighter planes came right over our house
Uh-huh.
and up to Lordney, and there'd be a air battle going on.
Did you see any planes being shot down?
No, I never actually seen. I believe there was one shot down in the Pentland First that somebody reported to us it happened. But no, I never actually, as I say, we were kept under cover when all this was going on.
Yeah. So as Bairns, you'd find this quite exciting.
As you can imagine, it was quite an exciting time for us. A bit of fear mixed in now and again, but
Yeah.
also you always saw this massive warships, battleships, aircraft carriers going through the Pentland Firth every day.
Yes.
Also submarines, you got a lot of flying boats.
Yes.
There was something happening all the time. The Firth was very seldom that there wasn't some boats or ships passing.
Ah.
And where we were on the island, we could see a good view of Pentland Firth and right up into Scapa Flow.
Yes.
And in a clear day, you saw this, as I say, Barrage balloons. There are just a forest of them in Scapa Flow.
Yeah. Yeah. Was meanwhile the fishermen on Stroma would still carry on as best they could, did they?
The fishermen, them that was left, generally older men, they carried on fishing. The younger men, they'd been called up. My grandfather and my uncle, they were fishing for crabs on the west side of Stroma when this plane got engine problems. And I actually heard the plane that day. She was firing, and she came lower and lower, and I thought she was going to land up on the island. But as it was, it just missed the island and right over the cliffs on the west side of Stroma.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And they were fishing right at the spot where the plane fell.
Yes.
They saved the pilot.
It was a British plane.
It was a British plane with a Polish pilot.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And they saved him, and they took him to a house at that end of the island, one of the Simpsons. And they posted a guard over him for some reason. So I wasn't sure if it was a chairman or not.
Because he's Polish, of course. Yeah.
As far as I'm led to believe, and the way he spoke, they weren't too sure. So they guarded him with a rifle for several days until he was taken to the mainland. I never really heard a real story or a true story about what went on about that plane, but that's about as far as I can remember.
Right.
A great bit of excitement that there was.
Yes.
This maybe chairman that was captured. I think he was a fool.
Were there many troops on Stroma itself?
No, the home guard was made up of all the older men, and there's maybe a shotgun and a rifle between 5 or so. My grandfather being one of them. Mm-hmm. And at that time I remember regulars coming, and they used the west side of Stroma as a practice point. And I remember we were kept well clear, and there's nothing but explosions and smoke bombs and what have you going off.
Right.
And it was quite a day for us.
Yes.
Watching it from a distance.
Uh-huh.
But that's the only time I remember any full-time troops coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just an exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? I mean, there was rationing and so on. Did you feel any effects like that you can mind?
No way. Obviously, never got any fruit or any fancy things, lemonades and stuff like that you get nowadays. But no way. We were well enough fed. We had a farm, little croft, and plenty of chicken and lamb and what have you. And I never remember being put out in any way.
And plenty of seafood, of course.
Seafood, yes, crabs. Never eat lobsters because they were too expensive.
Oh,
They were sold.
They were selling, yes.
Yeah, they were selling. And then, of course, there was a odd ship that went ashore.
Oh yes, you remember some of them?
Yes, I remember one very distinctly, flying on a very quiet night, and rapping on a door. Quiet, foggy night. Rapping came to the door, and ship ashore, ship ashore. This happened quite a lot, but they usually go off, tide changed or whatever.
Yes.
But this particular night, this big Liberty ship went ashore on the east side, and she stuck fast, and a lot of rations was distributed among the islanders, and that was a feast, a family feast. Bags of sugar, tins, loads of tins of stuff.
Yes.
And she was cut up for scrap right down to her keel.
All right.
And carted away. She was a brand new ship in her maiden voyage.
You remember the name of her?
For Emperor Parsons.
Emperor Parsons. Yes, I think I've heard of that ship. Yes.
Yeah, it's the only one that ended up more or less right up on a reef, and she couldn't get off. But 5 ships went ashore that night because she was a leading convoy. And a few, they just lost their bearings completely.
It was a foggy night.
It was a very foggy, quiet night.
Yeah.
The rest of them able to get free, but she stood fast. I remember actually climbing on board her. My grandmother took me up the steps on the side, and actually was on the deck of her. And everything was taken off. She was full of armaments and guns and what have you for a war effort from America. And they took it all away. They put a squad, and they worked the whole summer And into the winter, cutting her up, took every bit of scrap away
Right.
with little coasters
Uh-huh.
into the harbour.
Uh-huh.
So that went on for quite a while. I was quite interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being down one night and a horse and cart came down to carry some stuff away, and the horse backed. With all the machinery and the clattering on, the horse steered and went backwards, and the horse, cart and a man ended up right over the cliff, with a 50-foot cliff. On the only bit of sand that was there, right upside down the horse.
Dear.
Yeah,
And were they badly hurt? Or?
hardly a scratch.
Good heavens.
David Wears was the horseman, and
Uh-huh.
the horse was righted, the cart was in bits, and they had a cable from the vessel to the shore for slinging the scrap ashore. So they hitched on a harness, put it under the horse, winched them up, planted them on the shoreline. They never made a move. Everybody was down watching it. Practically the whole island was down.
Yes.
But no, they both escaped.
Oh, good.
The cart didn't survive, but they both did.
Yes. Yeah. Huh? And you were still on Stroma when the war finished, were you?
Yes, I remember my father was he was in the Navy, and he had to leave because the ship he was on got blown up, and it was a minesweeper from a Canadian minesweeper he was on. It was all made of wood,
Mm-hmm.
and he got a lot of splinters in his leg.
Oh, yes.
The boat sank within minutes.
Oh, yes.
The only two that was low, he was an engineer, and he'd just come up from his watch. Him and his mate were standing on a deck having a smoke with their pipes. And the two that went down in their place, there was only two that was killed.
Lucky escape.
And they had a lucky escape there. But he was home for about a month or 6 weeks, I think, with splinters in his leg.
Yes.
And then a war came to an end, and he got demoted, 45. He then stayed with us in my granny's house for a short period of time until they were able to buy a little croft on the south side of the island.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was 10-year-old, I moved there
Mm-hmm.
and started crofting, fisherman crofting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He had not much experience in actual fishing. By the time my grandfather trimmed up a small boat called the Tern.
This would be a yawl.